श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विजयपुरोगिणां निधे सर्वविद्यानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। मूकं करोति वाचालं भङ्गं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। व्यासाय विष्णुरूपाय व्यासरूपाय विष्णवे नमो वै ब्रह्मणिधे वासिष्ठाय नमो नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणे स्वयं व्यासेन कृतितं पुराणमुनिनां मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीमष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्बा त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवेद्वेषिणी। नारायणपरो व्यक्तादण्डमव्यक्तसम्भवम् अण्डस्यान्तस्तु मे लोकाः सप्तद्वीपाशमेदिनि अवतीर्णश्च कालट्यां केदारेऽन्तर्गतश्च यः चतुष्पीडमधिष्ठाता जयदाच्चङ्गरो गुरुः शङ्कारूपेण मच्चित्तं बङ्कीकृतमुबोध्य किङ्किरीयस्य सामाय शङ्कराचार्यमाश्रये। Previously, we were looking at in the Sankhya Yoga Adhyaya, we were looking at the 17th, 18th shloka, right? So we looked at 17th one, avinashitu tadvidhi anasarvidam tatam vinasham avyasyasya na kaschit kartumarrati. So, and then this Atma is avinashi and it's the cause of everything. It is avya, and so we looked at, so it is indestructible, right? And then in the 18th shloka we looked at antavanta ime deha nityasyokta sharirana anashino prameyasya tasmad yuddhasva bharata. We were looking at this shloka and we looked at again the meaning of this shloka. These indestructible bodies are said to belong to the everlasting, indestructible, indeterminable, the embodied one, that is the Atma. That's why, therefore, O Bharata, you join the battle. So we were looking at this last part where Tasmat Yuddhasva Bharata, right? So, and explaining at that time, so Shankaracharya explains this, saying Tasmat Yuddhasva Bharata, that means you take part in this battlefield, you continue with this battle, right? So when Krishna says that, it is not an injunction, right? It is not an injunction, it is not a command or order to for the battle, but it is purely to take up his duty. It was an instruction or the message to Arjuna to continue with his duty, because he had come to that battlefield on his own, prepared fully for the battle, and this battle started or prepared for this battle after all the means, other means were exhausted, right? So that's why they came there to that battlefield, but he had obstruction to continue with his duty as a Kshatriya. When he comes to battlefield, the obstruction he had was Shoka Moha, right? So sorrow and delusion. And that's why Bhagavan, what he tries to do here is remove that obstruction. That's why, therefore, join in this battle is only an approval of the command. And it tasmat idyasvaiti anuvada matram navidhi. That's why Shankaracharya says, right? So this is just a approval of what Arjuna was supposed to do, and it is not a vidhi, na vidhi. It is not a command. So just to give a Laukika example, real life example, for example, okay, so if we are, let's say, go to someone's house and for a lunch or whatever, we are sitting there and eating halfway through, or we are just about to eat, take some food, and we see something, okay, which looks like, let's say, a fly or something, okay, something we didn't expect and we don't want to eat. Okay, we say, oh, in this food I saw this. Okay, then the person who actually serving or who hosting us, that person might say, okay, looks at that and say, no, no, this is that vegetable piece or this is that whatever. Okay, they expand that this is not that, this can be eaten. Okay, so now you continue eating. The question is, are you eating because they told you to eat, or are they all they did was just removing your doubt, whatever that came through while you we went there for eating, having that lunch or whatever, and you just continued eating after that, right? You were the pratibandha, the obstruction that came in the form of a doubt, saying, okay, I saw this insect or whatever in the food or whatever, right? So you saw that you thought it's anything, and the other person clarified, the host clarified that it is not that. Then you continue eating, right? The host did not tell you that you have to eat now, right? So same thing here, similar thing, okay, where Krishna is not giving a command to Arjuna so that you have to have the battle. But all Krishna is doing is removing that obstruction of Shoka, Moha, sorrow, and delusion that is obstructing Arjuna from continuing with his duty. All Krishna is doing is removing that pratibandha, removing that obstruction. And that's why it is an approval of him following that duty and not a order. That's what Shankaracharya explains, which is very relevant, as I think previously I said, because we see a lot of these days, the experts, so-called experts, them coming and saying, Krishna is the one who instigated this battle, this war. Otherwise, Arjuna would have walked away. And if Arjuna had walked away, then the battle would not have taken place, right? So, because Pandavas would have withdrawn from battle because Arjuna is the only one. If Arjuna had walked away, Krishna would have walked away and everything would have stopped. But this has happened because Krishna has told this Bhagavad Gita, and they blame Bhagavad Gita for that. And that's why Shankaracharya clearly explains that this is not a command. And the second thing here to observe here is there are some people who say that this tasmat idyasya bharata, that means you therefore you join this battle. When Krishna says that, people think that this is an instruction for someone to follow their karma, their duty to attain moksha. Okay, the path to moksha, this has been interpreted by some as the path to moksha. By performing karma actions, one attains moksha, or through a combination of knowledge and action, jnana and karma, combination of that together, one will get moksha. Okay, so Krishna is giving this Bhagavad Gita, this jnana, and also he's telling him to perform this action, his duty, and that's why the combination of knowledge and action results in moksha. So that's how some interpret this, but that again, Shankaracharya in the 20th, 21st, 22nd shlokas, he gives pages and pages of explanation why this is moksha is not result of karma, it is result of jnana. So he explains that. We will come to that when we go to those shlokas and explanations. So just to be clear, this, if someone says that tasmat idyasva, therefore you engage in this battle, join this battle, if that is taken as a view to say that, okay, Krishna has instructed him to perform his duties. Okay, there are quite a few shlokas like this that come. Okay, you do your karma and those kind of things Krishna explains. But is that saying that karma and jnana go together and that results in moksha? Shankaracharya clearly says no. Okay, so we'll look at that in the next set of shlokas as we go along. Then we move to the so again, so Shankaracharya here clearly says that this Gita Śāstra, this scripture of Gita, is intended for eradicating the sorrow and delusion and things like that, which are the causes of cycle of birth and death, which is the samsara, and it is not intended to enjoin the action. Okay, so shoka mohadi samsara karana nivrityartha Gita Shastram na pravartakam. Okay, so it is not to join that karma. So Shankaracharya here simply in couple of sentences he says that Gita is to remove that shoka, moha, etc., those delusions, sorrows, and things like that, which is the karana of samsara karana, which is the cycle of birth and death. Okay, so which is the root cause of this samsara, and that's why samsara karana nivrityartha Gita Shastram. So Gita is for that purpose. It is not to advocate or join the karma with jnana. So again, Bhagavan, to prove this or to say that this is not related, Gita is not to join and join the karma action with for the to prove that he quotes two Vedic verses in the next two shlokas. Okay, in the 19th and 20th shlokas, he quotes directly from the Vedas, saying that okay, the idea Bhagavan again he quotes saying that to remove the cause of the samsara, such as grief, shoka, moha, and things like that. He quotes those two shlokas, but again, the ideas that uh, uh, Bhishma and others are being killed by me in the war. I am surely their killer, and this idea of yours is false. Okay, so Bhagavan says that the ideas that you have, like Bhishma and others are going to be killed by me in the war, I am their killer, and all those things, those ideas in your mind, whatever that you are thinking, they are wrong. So, Yuddhe Bhishma Deyo Maya Hanyante. So, Bhishma and those things are going to be killed by me. Ahameva Tesham Hanta. I'm going to be their killer. These thoughts, remove them from your mind. How you want to how one should remove it, how one should remove it, so that's in the next shloka. So yenam vetti hantaram yaschainam manyate hadam ubhau tau na vichanito nayam hanti na hanyate. He who thinks of this one here is talking about Atma as the killer, and he who one thinks this one as this Atma as the killed, both of them do not know. The one, the Atma, does not kill, or not it is killed. So Atma is not the one that's going to be killed or involved in killing. So that's what the little meaning of that shloka is. So if we look at the word by word here, enam means one who, and this Veti means knows, Hantaram means the killer, the slayer. Yaha is means one who, Cha means and, Enam means this, Manyate means things, Hatam means slain or killed, Ubho means both, Tau means they, Na means not, Vijanita means in knowledge, Na means neither, Ayam means this, Hanti means slays, Na means nor, and Hanyate is killed. So, looking a little bit more detail on how Shankaracharya explains this shloka is Iha Veti, that means he who thinks of this one, Enam, this one, the embodied one, the under whatever we are looking at, the Atma, as Hantaram, as the killer, the agent of act of killing. Okay, so he's the one that's going to kill, and Yeha, he who or the one who manyate, who thinks of this one, Enam, as Hatam, the one that's killed. Okay, the who thinks when body is killed, I am myself killed. I become the object of act of killing. Okay, so I am the killer, or I I myself killed, and all those things. Those who think like that, ubauto, both of them, okay, owing to non-discrimination, not having that differentiation, do not vijanitaha, know the Atma. They do not know the self, which is subject to consciousness of I, the buddhi that says I. Okay, so they do not know that Atma, which is the subject of this buddhi, which of I, they do not know that. The meaning is the one killing the body, he who thinks Atma, the content of that buddhi of I, as I am the killer, and he who thinks that I've been killed, both of them are ignorant of the nature of that Atma. Because I am this Atma, owing to its changelessness, na hanti. Okay, it does not get killed and does not become an agent of act of killing. It is not the doer or the one that's going to be done, or the kartru or kartara. So it's not that, and na harnyate, it's not killed as well, i.e. it does not become an object of act of killing. Okay, so it does not get killed, it does not kill, or it does not become an object of killing. Okay, it does not become the cause of that killing. Okay, this again, the second part of this shloka shows that the Atma is changeless because it does not get killed or become the object of killing. That means it is changelessness, avikriya, avikriya. So the key thing again here is, by this shloka, what it says is there are a couple of philosophical groups. Okay, so they called Naiyayikas and Charvakas, and like that. So Naiyayikas, for example, they believe that Atma is an agent. It has agentship. It is the kartrutva. So it does things. Okay. So through this shloka, again, Bhagavan here denies that Atma is not an agent. And also, Charvakas, they believe that Atma dies when this body dies. Okay, Atma ends with this body. So again, here it says that this shloka dismisses that view as well. So that's why it says that the Atma is neither the doer or it has, nor it has karmatva. So it, what is done belongs to it. So that's why Atma is independent of this. Atma is changeless, and that's what is said. It is avikriya. So now, how that Atma is changeless and how it is immutable? Okay, how it is immutable? The answer is in the next shloka. So in the 20th shloka, na jayate mriyate va kadachinnayam bhutva bhavita vana bhuya. Ajo nityah shashvatoyam purano na hanyate hanyamane sharire. So never is this one born, and never does it die, nor is it having come to exist, it will again cease to be. This one is birthless, eternal, undecaying, ancient, and it is not killed when the body is killed. So it is very clear here in this shloka, the Atma is not related to body. So again, if we look at the word by word meaning, na jayate means not, is not born. Mriyate dies. Va means or are here used in the context of and, because it does not die and it does not get born or and die. That's why va is used normally as a or meaning, but here it's used as a and meaning. And kadachit, at any time, that means it's always never born and never died. So and I am means this, Bhutva means having existed, once existent. Bhavita means will be. Va, again we looked at. And na means not. Bhuya, further. Ajaha means unborn. Nityaha means eternal. Shashvatha means immortal. Ayam means this. Purana means the ancient. Na hanyate means is not destroyed. Hanyamane is destroyed. Sharire, when the body. Okay. So when the body is destroyed, na hanyate, this is not destroyed. So if we look at how Bhagavad explains this in his Bhashya, is never is, na kadachit. Okay, never is, I am this one, jayate, is born. Okay, so the self, this Atma, has no change in the form of being born to which matter is subject. Okay, so Jani Lakshana Vastu Vikriya na Atmano Vidyate. So this Atma has no change in the form of being born and things like that. So Atma does not have anything like that. Va, that is, and na mriyate, it never dies. By this, the by saying that na jayate, na mriyate, it never born, never dies. By this, denied that final change in the form of destruction. By saying that it is namriyate, that means it is the final change of destruction. That's also denied here. And again, the word na kadachit, never, is connected with denial of all kind of changes. Okay, sarva vikriya pratishyadya. Yeah, Bhagavad says sarva vikriya pratishyadya. That means denial of all kind of changes. That word is used, na kadachit. That means thus it's never. Okay, never it is Atma is born, never it is died. Okay, and so on. So again, since this Atma, this self, Bhutva, having come to exist, having experienced the process of origination, will not, Bhuya, again, Abhavita. So cease to be thereafter. So it's never comes to an end. Therefore, it does not die. Because in common jargon, that which exists cease to exist after coming to being existence is said to die, right? So if something was there and it ceases, it ends, comes to an end, then we say that's died, okay, or destroyed. So in a life sense, we say it's died. If it is a material thing, object, then we say it's destroyed, right? It came to an end. Now, by the use of word va, that is nor, and na, that is not, it is understood that unlike the body, this Atma does not again come into an existence after having been non-existent. Okay. Ayam Atma bhutva va bhavita dehavatna bhuya. So this Atma does not again come into existence after having been non-existent. It never becomes non-existent. That's why it never comes to an existence. Okay. So that's why, therefore, it is not born. Na jayate. So you can look at it two ways. One is the one that does not die, it can't get born again. Okay. And similarly, one that's born, if a one that does not get born, it can't die as well, right? So if there's birth, there is death. If there is death, there is birth. If both of the not there, okay, you can't have the other one. Okay, so if birth is not there, death can't be there. If death is not there, birth can't be there. That's what it's saying. So that's why na jayate, it is not born, because the words it is not born is used with regard to something which comes into existence after having been non-existent. So if it is non-existent and it came to existent, then we say it's born, right? But Atma is not like that. Therefore, it is not born. Since it is like that, therefore, Atma is ajaha. It is birthless. And since it does not die, therefore, it is nitya. It is eternal. Yasmadevam tasmat ajaha yasmat na briyate tasmat nityascha. So it does not get birth. That's why it is aja. And it does not die. That's why it is eternal, nitya. Again, what this shloka does is it does the two things, right? So birth and death. Now you can look at it saying that, okay, I think last time we said when we say change, body going through change, we looked at 6 kind of changes, right? Jayate, asti, vardate, viparinimate, apakshiyate, and nashyate, right? So it born, it endures, it grows, it mutates, it decays, and gets destroyed. So that's the body going through different stages in a life cycle. So now, by denying the birth and death, it also denies all the things that in between. Okay, so the changes are by negating the denial of the first and the last change, that is jayate, non-jayate, namriyate. Still, the changes occurring in the middle should also be denied with their own respective terms by which they are implied. So that's what Shankaracharya said. Because if you are not born, you can't grow old, or you can't grow, or you can't mutate, or you can't decay, or all those things does not happen if you're not born. And similarly, it does not die. Right. So that's what, by putting the two ends together, birth and death, if both are not there, the things in between is also not there. Again, we looked at, I think previously we said even those transformational stages from childhood to adulthood, or adulthood to when body starts becoming weak and decay and things like that, and finally death, each of those stages, body, you can call all those transformations as death itself, right? So when a baby becomes a teenager or whatever, you can say that that baby phase has died, right? So we looked at that previously, right? Each of these stages itself could be called as a death. Okay, but if you look at the entire birth to death as one part, even then, by saying that na jayate na mriyate, beginning and end, everything in between also is denied. So all those transformations also do not apply. All those changes also do not apply to Atma. Therefore, the text here says Shashvataha, undecaying. So we looked at its ajaha because it is not, uh, there is no birth. It is nitya because there is no death, and it does not go any kind of transformations, changes, and that's why it is shashvataha, undecaying. And so that all the changes, whether it is youth and so on, which have not been mentioned in this, can also be negated. So the Shashvata says that all the transformation that goes through, changes that goes through in between birth and death also can be negated. And the change in the form of decay is denied by the word Shashvata here, that which is lasts forever, right? So Shashvata means that thing that lasts forever. It's always there. Okay. And again, in its own nature, it does not decay because Atma is free from parts. Okay, so it's na apakshiyate surupena niravayatvat. So niravaya means partless. It's indivisible and it has no limbs or members and things like that. So you use two terms here, niravayava, savayava. Savayava means having parts and being composed of parts and things. Niravayava means partless. So because Atma is niravayava, it does not decay. And because it is free from parts, it is partless, it does not decay. And again, since it is without qualities and there is no degeneration moving to decay of any quality, okay, because it does not have any qualities, that's why there is no degeneration of anything. Okay, so if we had some qualities of that, let's say, for example, like I have this hair or whatever. Okay, so there is decay, fire, fall, and things. If you have some qualities, that degeneration, decay of that it results in decay. But Atma does not have napi gunakshena apaksheha. So because of that, it does not have that degeneration as well, because it does not have any gunas. It does not have any qualities. Atma does not have any of such qualities. Again, change in the form of growth, which is opposed to decay. So, okay, so you look at change, growth now. So if you look at growth, it is opposite of the decay, is also denied. So now, up to now, we looked at Atma does not decay, right? So it does not go to decay. So it does not apakshiyate, it does not go through that. So now you might say, okay, then Atma might be growing, always growing. Okay, so that's also denied by the word Puranaha, ancient. The thing that grows by the addition of some parts is said to increase, right? And is said to be new. So when something gets added and growth happens, then you call it a new. So you were a baby and then become youth and then adult and things like that. So there is something changes that's always growing and things happening. Okay, so that's is changes that's happening, but Atma does not go through that. Avayava avayavagame avayavagamena upachiyate savardate abhinava iti cha uchyate. So this, because it does not get added anything, and that's why we can't say it. It's new things coming. Okay, so that's why Atma was fresh even in the past due to because its partlessness, and that's why it is called Purana. It does not grow. Okay, Atma niravayatvat purapi nava eveti Purana. Purapi nava eveti Purana. So Purana means Purapi nava. So it's even always it is because it is always fresh. Okay, and when we say Itihasa, Purana, and things like that, when we talk about Puranas, for example, just taking outside Bhagavad Gita, normally Purana, Itihasas, and things like that, Purana means same definition comes there as well. Purapinava. Okay, so it is always fresh. Okay, even though it is always there, even though it is very ancient, it is still new. Okay, it is fresh. That's why it is Purapinava. So that story is in the Puranas, even there, even though it is very old, it is fresh. Okay, so that's a Purana definition as well. So here as well, same definition comes Purapinava. So because of its partlessness, Atma always fresh, even in the past. Okay, then that's why it is Purana, and it does not grow. Na vardate. Shankaracharya says, na vardate, it does not grow. Now, also, Atma is also na hanyate. It is not killed. It does not get transformed even when the body, sharire, hanyamane. So when the body is killed, transformed, it does not get killed. The verb here again, to kill, is to be understood here in the sense of transformation. Okay, so the transformation, whatever we looked at, all those things, it does not go through that. So in this mantra, in this shloka, so again, to 19th and the 20th shloka, the 6 kind of bhava vikaras, so that is jayate, asti, vardate, vranimate, apakshiyate, nashyate, these bhava vikaras, so the change of transformations, the material changes seen in the world are denied in Atma. Whatever we see as the 6 kind of transformation that we see in the world, all those are denied in Atma, in the self. The meaning of the sentence is that the Atma is devoid of all kind of changes. Sarva prakara vikriya rahita Atma. That's what Shankaracharya says. So Atma is devoid of all kind of changes. So the changes we see is only for the body, not for the Atma. Since this is so, therefore, both of them do not know, right? If you go back to the Shloka, right? Ubauto na vijanito nayam hanti na hanyate, right? So both of ubauto vijanito. So both of them do not know, right? So in the 19th Shloka, we looked at that, right? So ubautur enam veti hantaram yaschainam manyate hatam ubauto na vijanito nayam hanti na hanyate in the 19th Shloka, right? So both of them do not know. This is so. This is how the present verse, the 20th verse, is connects to the 19th one. Okay, through these two 19th and 20th, which are both coming from the Vedas directly in the Kathopanishad, these message is very clear there. Okay, so these two shlokas come from that. So Bhagavan using this Vedas, what's said in the Upanishads, he's using them. He says that Atma is changeless. Okay, it does not undergo any kind of transformation. It is Nitya, it is Shashvata, it is Purana. All right. So he uses all those adjectives to describe the Atma, and he says that it is Najayate. It does not get birth. It does not get, it does not die. It does not undergo any kind of transformations. It is Ajaha. It is Nitya, it is Shashvata, it is Purana. So he uses all those adjectives and phrases to describe this Atma and differentiate it from the body. Now, in the previous verse, Yeyenam Veti Hantaram, and so on, he who thinks this one is the killer, and so on. In that verse, in the 19th verse, having declared that the Atma does not become an agent or an object of killing, okay, so it does not get killed or it does not involve in killing. And in this 20th verse, never this one is born, na jayate, na mriyate, and so on. Having stated that the reasons for Atma's changelessness, Bhagavan sums up the purport of what was declared previously, right? So he sums up in the next shloka what has been said so far. Okay, so the here in the 21st shloka he summarizes the 19th and 20th together, saying Veda vinashinam nityam yayenam ajamavyayam katam sa purusha partha kam ghatayati hantikam. O Partha, he who knows this one as indestructible, eternal, birthless, undecaying, how and whom does that person kill, or whom does he cause to be killed? So, if the Veda means knows, Avinashim means imperishable, Nityam eternal, Yaha means who, Yenam means this, Ajam unborn, Avyayam mutable, Katam how, Saha means that, Purushaha means person, Partha is Partha, Arjuna, Kam means whom, Ghatayati means causes to be killed, Hanti means kills, Kam means whom. So that's the word by word meaning. Again, he's saying this one is indestructible, eternal, birthless, undecaying. Okay. So when it is like that, how and who one can think that it is going to be killed. Okay. So that's the question he's asking as well. So how can he Atma, how can that be the cause of this killing? How can you become the cause of this killing? So we'll look at this shloka in detail because it is quite detailed explanation on this from Shankaracharya, about 3-4 pages is there. So we'll look at that probably in the next time as us all together.